Hey there everyone, this is Joe from Bullion Now, bullionnow.com.au, selling you the very best bullion bars and coins shipped to you worldwide from Melbourne in Australia. This is of course your weekly precious metals technical analysis where we take a look at the big four: gold, silver, platinum and palladium, sometimes the gold to silver ratio as well. Of course, bullionnow.com.au, instagram.com/bullionnow. Follow us there and you know what to do. Hit the big red subscribe button. 379. Isn't it interesting to watch how many subscribers we get each and every week now, each and every day? It's just climbing. It's climbing faster and faster every day. So you know, we might be at I don't know, maybe 1,000 by the end of the year. You never know. Let's push for that. Let's make that our goal. You can do it. Share the videos and we'll get there together. All right. Gold. This is gold on the monthly time frame. I want to show you this very quickly just to show you where we've come from. So right here, let me get rid of that, of course. Right here from the low here of was about April this year, and that was at around about 1266. So we've had 1, 2, 3, 4 consecutive months of up months. That is, so 4 green candles. Again, bear in mind, this is on the monthly time frame. So you know, some dips, some peaks, and some troughs, but on the monthly, it's 1, 2, 3, 4 solid months of up, which you know tells me sooner rather than later we will see a retracement. Where is it coming now? No, I'm not going to say that. So I'm going to stick to neutral for the metals for this week. But I just want to show you this because you need to take this into account. When you have a large rise, there is going to be some sellers taking advantage and taking their profits. And as you should be, if you've bought down here and you're up here, maybe you should consider taking some profits if you're into that. If you think, you know, the price will go back down, then you can buy back more ounces. Not a bad idea, hey? Good little play. But, you know, if you're just a buy and hold person, that's totally okay as well. So let's take a look at the daily. And actually, let me just show you the monthly because I just wanted to show you up here. We are in the overbought territory right here. When you're in this kind of, this is the relative strength index right here. And when you're in this area here, you're in overbought territory. So again, 4 consecutive up months plus overbought territory. Just something to consider, but we will keep just a little neutral for now. Daily time frame, and of course what we do every week, if you're watching these videos for the first time, what we do is we take a look at the week that was, how we got there to where we are now, and then I give you some price targets if we go higher or if we go lower. And I sometimes give a bias to either side of where I think we'll go in the next week, but sometimes I stay neutral. I'm just going to stay neutral for now with, you know, just saying we are in sort of overbought territory. So keep that in mind. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, this green candle here, it could have been, I'm not going to go back and watch the video to find out exactly what the price was, but it's going to be anywhere between 1470 to 15 something. I think we were close to the 15 mark last week when I was doing the video. I was talking about the next level or a range in which I thought we were going to, if we were going to head up, where we would kind of peak out at. And so far we did hit that in the last week, and I suggested, right here, let me show you, right there, I suggested that in the next the next target moving up would be somewhere between these 2 points right here, which was at 1530 and this Fibonacci level, and I'll go back and show you what that is. If I can go back and show you on the 4 hour. No, I'm going to show you on the weekly. That's even easier. The Fibonacci level right here, the 78.6, that's between the big low of 250 and the high of 1920, roughly in US dollar terms. You got this 78.6 level, and that was about 1565. So I thought we might land somewhere in between there. Just do that, and I'll do that, and that'll take me back to, there we go, now we're on auto. And as predicted, well, not as predicted because I didn't say we were definitely going up from here, but I did predict the price target. Now, I did say last week it was a very large price target, so I said it could sit somewhere in between here. Now, we've done that in the last week. We have come up from that 1500 level all the way up to a high of 1535, and you can see that is but it is in that range level of what I said before, between 1530 and 1565. So now the question is, where are we going from here in terms of if we go higher and if we go lower? So if we go higher from here, I'm still going to call at this stage, and I might pop into, no, I'll keep it on the weekly. I will still keep it at that 1565 level. Roughly there. So if we are still yet to break significantly down from here, I think we still can reach that 1565 level before we have a retracement, which we absolutely will at some point. And I think it's more likely to happen here than higher prices. But look, if I had to call a higher price, where would we be looking at? If we didn't stop here at 1565 and we sailed through that, the next logical level is right here. Can you see that? Right there. And that's at approximately $1,615 roughly. So that's quite a bit of a jump though. So I would suggest that if we are going to go higher, we would likely stop at around this level of 1565, maybe even up to the psychological value of 1600, but I'm going to call 1565 as the top, roughly around that general kind of vicinity, before we see a retracement, which we need to do. We need to have a little healthy one. We certainly had it here. The run up from, as I said before, 1275, we came up to that 1400 level. Look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks of green candles, of up green candles in a row. Yeah, we need to have a bit of a blow off top there, and we did. That's when we came back down. So we're getting there. Maybe, as I said, we could push up to 1565 before we have that that blow off top, a little bit of, letting off some steam. So let's talk about the prices moving down. Where's the most significant level that I would see if we move down from here? The most obvious one for me, if I can show you right here is a previous level of resistance, and I put a line in there that's been in there for a while, and that's at exactly, roughly 1432, 1430 to 1432. So in a potential scenario is that we come up to 1565. I'm not saying this is going to happen, but potential scenario 1565, and then we see a sell-off and we come down to a maximum, I think, of about this level right here at about 1430, 1432, around that kind of level. That's where I think we would probably go down to the most. I don't think we will go down further than that. Although, if we do, we would come down to this level right here, this old high at about 1375. But I don't see that. If we're having a retracement, 1430 is my call. And of course, that's not financial advice. Don't do what I would do. And if we are moving down, straight down from here, rather than having the move up, probably, as I said, probably that 14, right here, this is where I think we would move down to, as I said. So if we move up from here, 1565. If we're just straight down from here, then down to 1430. But we could even see the rise up to 1565 and then the blow off down to 1430. That was a big mouthful for gold, a little bit jumbled, but I hope you got it. So I'm just going to show gold in Australian dollars. Why? Because I'm making this video from Melbourne, Australia, and we have a lot of Australian subscribers. So I do like to quickly show that. And I always tell my Australian subscribers that really, the price depends on what the US price is doing, and it depends on what the dollar value between the Australian dollar and the US dollar is doing. But we've seen a high so far of, whoa, look at that, man. Look at that. 2,269.30. Let's just call it 2270. And look how far we're up here. This is 1, 2, 3. Again, 4. This is on the monthly. 4 green candles all the way up. If we were to see a retracement from here, again, it really does depend on what the US dollar price is doing, but just for S&Gs, my level would be at approximately 2070, 2050, between 2050 and 2070. I think it would retrace to down to there, but again, really does depend on what the Aussie versus US dollar is doing. All right, let's go to my favorite metal, which is silver. Love it. Look at this lovely, again, 1, 2, 3 green candles on the way up, punching into the daily. This is also in sort of overbought territory. When you look on the monthly time frame, I'll just look, if you didn't see it, I'll show it to you again. You can see we're in just getting into overbought territory, so there might be a little bit of room to move higher, because you generally get into overbought territory and stay there for a little bit, but we are right at the top end of this trend line right here. I've been talking about this many times before, between this level and this level, and what do you know, we peaked? That's a good question, but we've come all the way up to this trend line. So let's again pop into the daily. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, let me do that again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It was that green candle. So it was somewhere around here. No, it was. We'd already come up to the 1720 level. That's right. Last week, the week before last, I'd made a call that we would come up to no higher than about 1720, and we came up to about 1725. So that call was pretty spot on. I wasn't saying we were definitely going there, but I said if we were going higher, that's where we'd move to. And then last week, I was calling for, if we were moving down, here's the certain levels we'd go down to. And if we're going high, here's where we would go up to. I thought we may have, in the next week, gotten up to a price of about between 1770, but we have topped out so far at 1750 roughly. So not quite where I thought. I thought it was going to match this level right here, or potentially even go higher and match or come up to, somewhere trading in the range of 1770 to 1820, but we still haven't reached it yet. But if we take a look at the daily, this is interesting because in the last 7 days, as you guys know, we were traded sort of sideways, then we had a spike up to that 1750 level, and a very quick, on the daily time frame, a very quick spike down all the way back down to 1650, 1655 technically. That's a big dip in one day, but we've caught most of that back up again. So I'm not going to call that we're going to see higher prices from here, but I'll keep it neutral for now. So let's talk about but that's looking like a pretty nice little setup. I'll just say that much. But I will keep it neutral for the moment. Let me just do that again, just so I can get it on auto. Let's talk about the prices moving higher. And we'll do this on the weekly time frame. And I'm still going to stick with, my 1770 to 1820. Although, since we've come up to 1750, a move up to 1770 before a decent retracement doesn't seem like it's moving high enough in order to warrant that. So I would say if we're moving up higher from here, I'm going to call it closer to the 1820 range. So somewhere between 1770 and 1820 with a bias to much closer to 1820 before we see a retracement, which again, we will, just like gold, we'll see a retracement eventually because we did see a break through this trend line right here. So that's my call, somewhere between 1770 to 1820, just like last week, but with a bias to probably higher, closer towards that 1820 kind of level. And then, like gold, if we have a scenario where we move back up to there, well, actually, this is a different scenario. This is interesting. Okay, let me just thinking right here, because I do these pretty much off the cuff rather than studying the charts for 2 hours before the recording. If we were to break up to say 1820, what I could see is our retracement back to this trend line, and that's the one I was showing you just before. And I think that would become a level of support. So right through there. So if we do break up to this level here of 1820, let me get rid of that. I really should get it just a membership, shouldn't I? 1820, I could see it coming back to this level as support, sort of bouncing off this line. Now, I could be wrong on that, of course. But it does tend to happen a lot when you break through a trend line, you come up above it, then you just come back to test it. However, if we are going lower than there. The maximum I would say would be, of course, this previous support level, and that's at $16.20. So whether we retrace directly from here or whether we come up to that sort of 1820 level and retrace back down, the lowest I think we will go is down to that previous level of support at 1620. And this stuff isn't rocket science. This is, if you can do a little bit of charting, you can pop in horizontal lines and you can see where previous levels of resistance and previous levels of support are. It's not rocket science. You should probably be able to figure this stuff out for yourself. So that's my call on silver for both the up target between the next week and a bit and the down target for the next week. And we'll see what happens next week, of course, because every single Thursday you get a precious metals technical analysis from me. Platinum. Good old platinum. We are still within this trading range. This is on the monthly. Let's pop into the weekly. Starting to get in slightly overbought territory for both. That's interesting. In both the monthly and the weekly. Maybe I will just take you to the daily to see where we were. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, I did call it a neutral for both the platinum and palladium, gold, silver as well. And I think I did call a level of, I think I mentioned this level here of 845 and this level here of 832. We did have a retracement just down to 838. But if we look on the weekly, looks like, oh no, look, we've had a bit of a spike down. If we are moving down from here, I would still call this level here, 832 as the next level of slight support. And of course, I've said it a million times before, we're in this trading range here, in this symmetrical triangle. And the closer we get to the apex, to the very corner, the more likely it's to make an explosive move either to the upside or to the downside. It needs to make a decision either way, and it will do that eventually. I would say by no later than the end of the year, by no later than December 31st, because we've got a lot of time here. Now, by no later than December 31st, if we're still trading in this range, it gets tighter and tighter. I'd say by no later than December 31st, we will have made that decision either way. So you're going to see a decision in platinum either way, to the upside or the downside, majorly, in the next, by the end of the year. And that's my call on that. But for the next week, as I said, if we move down, that'd be my point right there at about 830. Obviously, the bottom end right here of this channel just depends when it hits. Not as likely in the next week, I'd suggest. And if we just bounce up and move up from here, I've been talking about a few levels. This one here, which I put in last week at 900, more of a psychological value, 915. And if we just really go gangbusters and explode, then we'd be looking at about 955. So that's the up targets and the down targets for platinum. Finally, palladium. My old friend Palladium has been on a massive tear in the last number of months. As you can see, we are not out of the woods yet for the double top. I've been talking about this in the last couple of weeks. Double top, you come up, you come down, you come back up to meet the previous high, and then you come back down. If we come back down to here, and if we break even a tiny little bit down below it, it is on for young and old, and we would head further down. That's what a double top is. It needs to break this level though, or get very, very close to it in order for everyone to go, uh-oh, it's a double top, I better sell. And then they would sell that price down to, I think, about between 1150 to 1100, which is the previous all-time high here, and we just broke it a little bit here. So that's to the downside. Maybe let's quickly look on the weekly. Actually, where are we on? Yeah, we're very neutral in terms of overbought or oversold, because it really could go either way. Weekly time frame looks like we're setting up here for a bit of a trend line. Yep, right there. So as long as we stay above this trend line, we are doing okay. Could we be in the beginnings of a flag right here? Could that be the beginning? Ooh, I don't know. It could be, but we'll just keep watching the price and see how we go. Of course, if we have a massive massive rise in the price from here if it just goes whoop, right above. Of course, we're talking at the all-time high of 1615, and you guys know what I've been saying. It's the psychological value of 2000. That would be the next one in my opinion. So I won't talk about the higher ones. Psychological value of 2000 is the next higher high in my opinion, because we've never been there before. So that's in Palladium, and finally the gold to silver ratio. Why not? We'll quickly talk about it. Right, that's not the gold to silver ratio. That's it right here. We had been on the move up. Let's quickly look on the daily. That move all the way up to 89, nearly 90, and we're just back down here, as you can see, sort of the bottom end of this 18 average of highs on the daily time frame. I think, as I've said, we're moving slowly higher, in my opinion, up to the 1 to 100 level. And I think a lot of people would be doing, because it's a very psychological value, very, very psychological. People will be doing a lot of silver to gold, sorry, gold to silver swapping, not silver to gold to silver swapping. If anyone has a lot of gold, they might come in and want to swap it for a bunch of silver at the 1 to 100 level. It could still go higher than 1 to 100, but that'll be a big psychological value for many, many people, including myself, to be honest. So giving you a sneak peek into my psyche there. All right, gang, you know what to do. Hit the big red subscribe button, of course, join the family. Check out our platinum special. We've already sold 12 or 13 ounces of the 29 ounces that we had, and we're doing it at a very good deal. It's not at spot, but it says spot special. It's spot plus a certain percentage, but check out the video. I'm not just going to tell you on this video. You have to watch this video. That's how we get all your lovely clicks. And check out the weekly auction. It's still open for this very nice vintage, very vintage, sort of I was talking circa 70s, just under 1 kilo bar. We just did an epic Perth Mint unboxing. We've got another one to upload tomorrow as well. And check out this video. It's had a bunch of views. Michael talking about the day that we ran out of gold. Yes, we ran out of gold. But click the video and that will tell you what's going on. I think it must have gone a mini viral because it's getting a lot more views than our other ones. So there must have been one that's coming up as recommendations in people's feeds. That is it, gang. I've bored you long enough with my technical analysis. Take care, and we shall speak to you soon.